Good evening. I'm Danielle Mestis, and this is going to be the Brain Lab. All right, so this is the brain, and this is the space that I am working with. I apologize. We are in a hotel right now, so it's going to be a little different. Here's the terms that I am going to be defining and demonstrating today. All right, so we're going to get started with the brain. So to begin with, this is the cerebrum, this portion of the brain. Okay. The sulcus are going to be the indentations in the brain. The gyrus are going to be the ridges in the brain. Okay. So now we have the longitudinal cerebral fissure, which is this right here. And that separates each lateral hemisphere of the brain, the right and left hemisphere of the brain. Okay, so we have right here, which is the cerebellum, and then we have the midbrain. I feel like this isn't a good example of the midbrain, but it's what we're working with. Okay, so this is the superior portion of the brain, and then we're going to turn it over so we can just visualize the inferior portion of the brain. So we're going to turn it like this, give us a little better view of what we're working with. Okay, so the meninges is the outside covering of the brain. It's right here. It's already been taken off the rest of the brain, but it was left on here. So the meninges is made up of 3 different layers. That is going to be the dura mater, arachnoid, and pia mater. All right, so it's a little bit hard to visualize because of the meninges, but the pituitary glands are located right in the center of the brain, right there. Okay, so we are going to we're going to continue with the cranial nerves. So if we see right here, these are going to be the cranial nerve 1, which is the olfactory nerve. So these little bulbs are going to be the olfactory bulbs with the olfactory nerve as the whole. We have the optic nerve, which is located right here. Once again, it's a little hard to see due to the meninges covering it. However, I couldn't get the meninges off, so we're going to leave it. The optic nerve, like I said, is right here with the optic tract and the optic chiasm. All right, we have the, excuse my pronunciation of this, but the oculomotor nerve, which is located right here, and the trochlear nerve, which is right here, along with the trigeminal nerve, which is right here. A little bit uncertain about where the abducens is, but upon research, it's right here. It's going to be located a little bit below that the pituitary gland, as well as the trigeminal nerve. Okay, so this is going to be a 2-part section. I'm going to now cut the brain in half along that longitudinal cerebral fissure so that we can visualize the inside of the brain. So this is part 2 of the brain lab. We cut the brain in half so that we can visualize the sagittal view of the brain. Little view of my workspace right here, my list of terms, and let us get started. So to begin with, we're going to start with the brainstem. So the brainstem is located right here. Let me get a little pointer. Let's try this. The brainstem located right here. Okay. So that consists of the pons, which is right here, and the medulla oblongata, which is right here. And then the brainstem, of course, is right here, but it's not very able to be viewed very well. Okay, so the Burmis is going to be located in here. It's really hard to visualize, but it's located in here within the medulla oblongata. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go over the midbrain section, right? So this whole area is considered the midbrain. So right here is going to be the corpus callosum, followed by the thalamus, followed by the hypothalamus. Then we have there's going to be a little piece of tissue right here, which is the septum pellucidum, and then the cordis or cord plexus. The third ventricle is located right here. The cerebral aqueduct is located right there underneath. The fourth ventricle, I was having a hard time to find, so I'm assuming it was right here. Okay, then the final thing is the arbor vitae, which is in the cerebellum. It's named because it kind of looks like a tree when you cut it in that manner. Okay, so finally, oh, and I'm sorry, the spinal cord is right here. Okay, so the white matter is what's consistent on the top, and then the gray matter is a little bit below it. So white matter, gray matter. And I was unable to visualize the dorsal and ventral roots. So I was having a little trouble in that view. But this concludes the brain lab.